Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the PFL. Very, very happy to be here today, joined by somebody else for once. It's good to have another voice. It's good to rest mine a little bit more. So we have Dan Horton join us today, who is, for him, it's his first time on an esports broadcast. But he brings plenty of experience in the real footballing world, which means he's probably going to show me up today. We're just being on the online space. But Dan, it's brilliant to have you here, my friend. How are you feeling for your first esports gig?
I'm bloody nervous. Covering National League and Football League action, so to transition that, just hoping for easy breezy time of it, but it's never that simple, is it?
Well, I think, as I say, I think with the good thing with pro clubs, and especially these sort of teams, is once you see how fast paced the games are and how free flowing they are, it becomes very, very much easier to understand what's going on. It's too fast to necessarily do every play by play. Fortunately for me, a Scouse accent and speaking naturally fast helps a lot. But yeah, no, it's very, very quick gameplay. Very different gameplay to maybe what you'd expect. I don't know if you've played much FIFA recently, but the game's changed massively from the older days. Nowadays, it's all about metas and different ways to win the game and play the game. The formations, though, however, are usually the same. So what we'll do just before we get into this game is we will have a look at the lineups for the two teams tonight. Digital versus Famalicao here in the quarterfinals. Now, we've seen Digital cause a massive upset against Al Wahar, which anybody watching will not have expected to come. Al Wahar were probably the favourites to win this tournament. They went and signed the best player from Famalicao, Luke Renault won, and basically went and Man City'd the way through the table with the best players. However, they learned the Liverpool way, that signing all the superstars is not the best way to complete a competition and compete, because they got knocked out. Digital Sports, though, with a completely changed roster from last year when they did the same thing and they beat Famalicao on this stage. They are here now with only one player out of that original 11, which is D the G. I'm just looking here. There we go. D the G and CAM. I believe he is the manager, the captain. They basically have the hard job of sorting out all the games and stuff. But if we look here, one team playing a 3-5-2 and one team playing a 3-1-4-2. Now, to be honest, Dan, they are the two formations you're going to see every single time. It's very, very rare to see a team change it up. However, we did get some Russian teams in this competition for the first time, and they play the game in a completely different way, which is good to see. But this is sort of the usual, the 3-5-2 formation, and the 3-1-4-2, they are usually the two most used. Now, just to give you a bit of background, so Famalicao last season basically won everything. They won a LAN tournament, they won many of the PFL competitions. They only lost one competition, and that one competition that they lost to was Digital Esports in the same competition last year. This time last year, the exact same sort of place. So this is a bit of a grudge match in that sense of, they want to get revenge in the same sort of position they were in last time. And the majority of the roster on the Famalicao side remains the same. Edu Martins in goal, Gonzalo, Nogs, they were all there. Johnny's been the manager, he's never really played. Nature's always been on that team, NGK's always been on that team. And the rest of the players there have sort of joined on. And I'm presuming some people are missing tonight. And as I say, the only player on Digital Sports that remains the same is pretty much D the G. I think there's potential that Ray Jaragold may have been there as well. But no, these guys have performed much better as the season's gone on. So the question is if Digital Sports can keep it going.
Yeah, I mean, doing my research in the build-up to this match, it looked like, Digital, one of the best defensive teams in the competition, and then Famalicao, one of the best going forward. So it is the unstoppable force against the immovable object there. Just waiting to see which one comes out on top.
Absolutely, and I believe the game is about to kick off then. We're going to transition over now to the game screen. This is going to be Digital Sports from Famalicao. We are watching from the Digital Sports perspective. However, no, someone's lagged out, so we're going to go right back to the camera screen because that is the world of EA. And what you'll learn about EA, Dan, is that they are not very forgiving about the esports scene. They don't really do it very well. And a lot of things, such as ping, and a lot of crashes, a lot of bugs which have been in the game for years and years and years and still haven't been fixed, are still current today. So it gets to the point where you can be in England playing against someone in Portugal and you're getting 120 ms, which is essentially the equivalent to other games of playing somebody in America. So for whatever reason, FIFA's servers are dreadful when it comes to internet connection. So all those things in football where there's no sort of unfair disadvantages, in this sort of style of play, all the disadvantages are there. So if you've got players that are sort of a mixed bag and they're from different places in Europe, and you play a game, you're going to have some players who are so inconsistent because their pings, one game it's okay, the next game it's dead high, they're somewhere in the middle of the game after. So never really any consistency in that sense. That's why at PFL there is a home and away leg, so that they get an opportunity to play on their own service. You'll see a lot of teams who are, like, for example, Famalicao are a Portuguese team, and the majority of them are Portuguese, and Digital Sports, the majority of those players are German. So they try and keep it to, sticking with close-by players so that when they play on their home server, they know that they've got, all their players on good ping. And it's a crazy thing to factor in. It's only really FIFA that you'll see that problem with. Most other games, the ping's absolutely fine. But I suppose it brings quite a unique element to the competitiveness with the PFL and pro clubs.
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing FIFA since 2010, so I'm aware of how amazing the servers are at times, and how shaky they are. So, false start, but I mean, at least it makes it more entertaining for us. And I mean, it lets you as well not to speak so much. I get to speak as well for a bit.
Yeah, there you go. Absolutely, that's the hope. As I say, it's very easy in previous weeks to basically just run out of voice to use. But that's unfortunately the way it's been. It's been me on my lonesome, trying to read a chat and cast at the same time. Well, as I say, clubs is, unfortunately, it is one of those things which are just completely and utterly. The issues. It's just.
Everything's gone into Ultimate Team because that is
Yep.
the cash cow.
Yep.
They're gonna milk it
Yep.
for as much as they can, and they're like, "Oh, we'll have one thing for pro clubs," and it's like, well, we've got another 50 things to catch up. So
It's a very slow road to recovery, but at least we are back underway.
Yes, we are, hopefully. And it looks like it's better than the previous attempt because the players have not left. They've not. Usually the giveaways in the first minute, they go to the settings and leave. Thankfully, that's not the case today. We've got Digital Sports then in what looks like either a navy blue or a black. It's hard to tell. Kicking left to right, and then Famalicao playing the Famalicao kit. Official Football Club of Portugal. They are playing on, obviously, in that wide strip, going from right to left, and they get an early opportunity. Ennis gets to the recovery side of things and gets rid of it. What we tend to see with these two teams, Famalicao will try and control the game, and Digital Sports will essentially try and counter-attack. Usually, anyway, this is the way the two teams would set up for this game, and it would make sense because Famalicao were probably the favourites going into this game.
Absolutely, yeah. Again, just drawing back to the defensive stats of Digital coming into this, 5 clean sheets in 8, whereas Famalicao averaging just under 3 goals a game. So, at least from the outside, it's looking like a clear-cut winner of, at least in terms of who's more likely to score, but it's not necessarily going to be like that.
Yep. No, absolutely. As I say, Digital Sports have already done it once, been the underdogs and won against Al Wahar. There's no reason why they can't follow up with another win like this in the semi-finals. And then, to be honest with you, they have had the hardest side of the bracket. So the games to come are only, I wouldn't say easier, but they're much more favourable for Digital Sports as they progress through the bracket. So this is really this is the challenge. These guys are the champions for so long now. I think they came second in the Europe League that we run, which is with all different places of Europe. They just play in the league table. They came second place. That's the first time Famalicao have lost a league in a year, in a complete season of FIFA. They came second to Al Wahar. So that's why Al Wahar are obviously going to be the favourites coming into this one. Famalicao, you're second. I don't actually know where Digital Sports placed. I don't think they did well at all in the league, but I don't know whether it's because they've changed the roster, because they say that they've changed a lot of players around since the last time we've seen them in PFL. But there's two main competitions for these players as well, so they will also be competing in the VPG as well as the PFL. So a lot of the teams have the same roster for both. So obviously changes aren't just made here, they're also made there. So there's a lot of competitions sort of for these players to think about, but also if they are getting new players, there's plenty of games for them to sort of gel. Whereas obviously in the real world, it's not as simple as that. But in this side of things, that they find a player they need, somebody who's a left mid. They will be generalised to roles. And interestingly, there's probably about thousands of people who take this really, really seriously, and they're in the 30s and above. They're not just kids.
Yeah, I mean, I will say I can understand taking pro clubs very seriously. I know my friendship group did for many years, and luckily we won one Div 1 title, so we can hold our heads up high. Potential counter-attack for Famalicao, though, down the left-hand side, but immediately they're just surrounded by black shirts, and it's just a case of, where have you got to play in the end? It's just down a cul-de-sac.
Absolutely, yeah. Different teams, different play. I think at the moment Digital Sports haven't really tested the waters of the offense. However, they seem to be calm and collected in the defense, and maybe that's where their strengths lie. Pippo is one of the favourites for me from his performance in the last game. His defensive work was absolutely tremendous. Very, very little got past him. And if he can keep that up today, I mean, again, Famalicao now have lost their main man, which is called Luke Renal 1. He's gone to Al Wahar. He was the biggest threat. He was a top goal scorer in every competition that he's ever played in, and he's also an FC Pro player for Ultimate Team. So he was probably the best player that Pro Clubs has, and that threat's gone now. So it's sort of like they've already dealt with Luke Renal 1 Digital Sports, so if they can deal with him, they can deal with anyone. You'd expect, but it's all about consistency. All about consistency. If they can sort of repeat themselves in this competition now.
Yeah, I mean, with how close their games have been, it's just about, can you take your chances? And yes is the answer. And they have taken the lead.
Absolutely tremendous. Absolutely tremendous. The ball over the top just to keep it onside, the time of the run, and then the first time pass. It was absolutely perfection. That play was right out of the book. And the first time shot as well. I think was that Pippo who scored as a centre-back? I think it was. Unreal player to be on the end of the shot as well. But yeah, that is one of the most tremendous sort of plays we've seen from these guys. Usually it's toe pokers, it's sweaty passes, and I suppose it was kind of a sweaty pass. But playing that byline isn't a common thing to do in this game.
It was a good chip over the defence of that back three, and he caught them all off guard. And now this little high press, Gold, I'm pretty sure was the man who got the goal in the build-up. But it's that little chip pass, and then you say it's a sweat. It's the easy pass. You'd rather pass it along for a teammate than go for glory yourself. And now obviously it's can you defend at the other end? And no, you can't. And it is 1-1 out of absolutely nowhere. And it's frustrating, really. Obviously, you're most vulnerable when you've just taken the lead themselves. You've got that moment, you've got the adrenaline coming in, so it's about try and calm yourselves down, and that lead is gone just like that.
Absolutely. And that is, unfortunately, Digital Sports going to have to deal with that. They had the chance as well to double their lead, didn't take it. But are they going to find something now straight away? They've got to keep the momentum going forward. They can't let the goal hurt them. Ernesto will lose the ball there. It's a great interception for Famalicao. Alves now making the push in the centre. Finds Hadji, who's going to make that drive forward. Plays the pass to Krim. It wasn't the best, but Krim does manage to get control. Then finds Hadji, who's got a bit of space here. Plays it into Blobby. The pass was going to come across, but Pippo does a good job to put it out right into the player's foot for Famalicao, and it goes up for a goal kick. Threat has been dealt with.
Done well, not only to just stop the danger, but as you said, win the goal kick as well. And at least for the couple moments, just calm yourselves down, really, would be the message. Having just conceded, and you know how good the opposition is going forward, the numbers, so it's just a case of just calm yourselves down, keep doing what you're doing, because they did take the lead for a good reason. They defended really well, sucked up all that pressure, and had that moment. So you need another one. Ideally, you'd want one just before half time, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's the best time. It's especially, even with the online game, I'd say half time does kill momentum against you, and that was exactly what they need. So yeah, as I say, I think maybe there's a slight bit of overconfidence after they scored that goal. It was a really good goal, but maybe they thought, okay, if they're going to be this easy to break down in the future, with these sort of passes, then we can try and do it again. Maybe pushed up a little bit too far, got caught out on the break, and again, that they are the two ways the game's played. In this, you never really have a equal possession match. One team dominates possession, the other team has to counter attack. I'm surprised that it's for me it's fell the other way. It looks like Famalicao hitting on the counter attacks, and it's Digital Sports sort of controlling the game. But as I say, Fama have lost some of their main players, so maybe that's a tactical change they've made in light of losing some of their stronger players with little notice. It takes a while to replace people of the caliber that they've lost. So difficult, 100%. But a tied game at half time here. There's one of two legs, so there's still plenty of time left to go here in this competition. And I believe we are on. So usually I think it's the top team on the left side of your screen is the host. So I think this is Digital Sports host, which would make sense because it would probably suggest that usually teams win on their own servers, and then it sort of makes up the difference. As you can see, 12 ping, so yeah, it's a Digital Sports host. They're on good ping this game.
Yeah. Well, I think that makes sense as well as why Digital have actually controlled the ball as well as they have, really. When you've got connection on your side, it always helps. But a long ball forward from Famalicao. If they want to play it over, an early cross in, headed away though, but not fully away in the end. But Digital do well just to recover the ball, and this will be the pattern. Looking to try and get a counter themselves, but there's not enough numbers really to look too dangerous. In the end, just overwhelmed in the end.
Yeah, it's a tough one for teams to sort of make that decision of how do we now play. We've just conceded the last goal. Do we shut up shop and play for counter-attacks, or do we keep going with confidence? I mean, it's a tough sort of line to cross because it can cost you a lot of money in this game, especially in the knockout stages. You've got a second game, a second leg, okay, but you don't really want to waste your opportunity on your home ground. You want to make sure you get this win secured. So if Famalicao come out the doors and your ping's not as good and they're going to control the game, you want to be able to give yourselves a couple of goal window. And that's why, again, it's so hard to actually know who the better players are. It's so hard to know because you only really get to see them once on each ping, but then you see them on bad ping. Maybe a player doesn't like bad ping and starts kicking off and raging, like I would if I had bad ping. Maybe some of them are calm.
I think we would all be like that.
It's such a
we'd all be like that.
The delay's so big as well, just for a small ping difference. If this guy was on 24 ping, it'd be such a massive difference in game. The delay would be so noticeable. And that's what's crazy about this sort of club scene, I suppose. It's a different way of playing esports than anyone has to deal with. It's like we've gone back 20 years.
True, but I mean, there is the the added edge of there's two legs and you've both got a chance, so it does give a bit of needle. But yeah, as you said, it's the ping situation. It's not a pretty one to say the least. As Famalicao do really well play it over to the right hand side, got an inside pass if they want, but it was well marshalled in the end. Digital just under pressure there, and maybe that clearance could have been intercepted, but all of a sudden, the last couple moments, Famalicao having a bit more possession, but it's just possessions for possession's sake, really. There's no shot towards goal, but I think that's more credit to Digital because there's no space to shoot into. That's a mistake, though.
Great one, though. Alves is going to break away. There's two members of Famalicao in the box. First time pass. Hadji goes across the blobby, but it is going to be dealt with. Good defending by Digital Sports in the end. It was a bad mistake, but they did recover. However, Famalicao
I tell you what,
are driving with the rough with the smooth at the moment.
I tell you what, like brilliant defending there from Pippo. But as soon as the ball was lost, Pippo, he had a 2-on-2 to mark, and he's done so well just to jockey his man, but make sure that there wasn't enough space so he could easily cross it into the far post, and it's an easy one-on-one. So I think you have to credit Pippo in that regard because he's marked all areas so well, and then obviously in the follow-up has nodded it back to the keeper. But now Zizou's got it down the left-hand side. He's looking for a forward pass. He's ran down a bit of a cul-de-sac near the area, waiting for support. He does eventually find it, but can't quite work the ball over to the left-hand side of the pitch. And just under 20 or just over 20 minutes to go. Still 1-1. We've had a couple of moments, only a couple of shots to really speak of in the end. And Well, we have one more. Early cross in, sent towards the near post, but that man Pippo, yet again, just to get rid.
Oh,
Not
Alves.
fully cleared away though. Alves in the area, but again, who else? It's Pippo, just to clear up the field.
Yeah, Pippo definitely being one of the strongest defenders left in this competition. Just he knows what he's doing. He knows what to do with the ball. He's not ever hesitating. You know, he's not nervous. You can tell every time what he's trying to do. And here's Digital Sports trying to find some chances. Famalicao now parking the bus, and they do get the ball back eventually. But it's great pressure there, high press from Maxville, who will win that ball back. He's going to play it back. Chip pass from Ennis. Gold tries to flicker on with the header, but he gets a slight touch on it. It is cleared away by Famalicao. Crimi gets in there to force them to play a pass back to Hadji. Hadji playing with a small, thin build, quite speedy, and eventually I think it was a foul given there by the referee. So Famalicao do regain possession. To be honest with you, this is what Famalicao need. They don't care for the win here because they know they can win on their own server. They're obviously going to try and score, but for them, getting a draw in this game, if you'd have asked them before the game if they take a draw, they'd have shook your hand.
Absolutely. As an early cross in, sent towards Zeni, and just over the bar, and I'll tell you what, I mean, yeah, you'd absolutely take that as the away side. You'll just get your point, and it is similar to real life football in that, you know, your away leg. Obviously, I know there's no away goals, but you are away from home. You'll take the point, take the positive result, and have home team advantage. And be interested to see if Digital do, go for the proverbial jugular in the last 10 minutes or so to go. Because I mean, you'd certainly want the advantage, won't you? But it's just that risk and reward, isn't it? Yeah.
No one knows what they're going to try and accomplish here. Do they now go full attacking? You know, it's almost like Football Manager. Do they go very attacking and risk the chance of conceding? Well, that's it. Maybe they do. Although I will say we don't see many long shots in this.
No.
The goalkeeping is way too OP. They don't have any sort of slowness. The goalkeepers are like the best. They're sort of like the prime noise in every single net. But it'd be good to see. It'd be good to see Digital Sports get a win here. It makes things interesting for the Famalicao fixture. I don't know how bad the ping is going to be, but Nature Stream's playing up, so we will be watching this Pippo stream, so we'll get to see how bad the ping is going to be and how much of a difference it is as Digital again trying to knock on the door. But again, Famalicao just seems to have so many players. It looks like they're going to be hitting a counter-attack, and then you actually get to the box, and there's already 5 or 6 players there defending, and it's so hard to find the space. You mentioned before
that was good.
That free ball was close, but no cigar.
No, and with about 3 minutes to go, it's just a case of keep what you've got in terms of Famalicao and Digital. I don't want to say it's a missed opportunity, but the G intercepting the pass and can't quite find the forward ball in the end. And by the time his teammates are with him, he's got the great white wall ahead of him.
Yeah, there's only one member, I believe, of Famalicao forward, and they're just going to knock it up to him. And it'll be a dreadful way to go if he can manage to find his way on goal here. Alves
gets it in.
Oh, it's offside.
Oh, he's off.
Interesting placement for the ball, mind you. I suppose. Will it not be in the other half?
Surely this is last chance. Long ball in, headed away, and
okay, yeah.
That is it.
1-1. Interesting. I don't. Again, it's one of those. It's fine, but they're gonna have to. What they're gonna have to do on the ping is they're gonna have to try and pre-fire everything they do. Every tackle, every pass, every shot is going to be pre-fired. They can't rely on the same reaction speed. They've got to try and think ahead, and that's where the problems are caused. Because if you've got loads of players spam pressing B to tackle or slides, actually, you're going to have loads of people flying around the screen, and creates quite an unpleasant viewing. But I think Famalicao have played that one exactly how I'd have expected them to. I think they've gone in with that vision of especially when they conceded, let's just get the goal back, and then we don't have to worry because we know we are confident that when we get onto our homeland, we won't have a problem. Digital Sports have to do what Famalicao have done against them. Can we take this one to extra time and penalties? I don't know. We see it often in this stage of the competition. I don't think we've seen one yet, which has gone all the way. So it'd be good to see one now tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we saw obviously Famalicao in the last round against Gil Vicente. They lost the first leg, but they won 4-0 on the home servers. So
yeah.
Like, here you go. No place like home. And
yeah.
obviously they are going to be the favourites going into it because of the history, because of what they've done, and obviously now they've got the servers on their side.
Yeah.
So, but it's never that plain and simple. So I don't want to say it's it's going to be it's very clear cut as that, but crazy stuff have happened.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's the main thing here is they have a chance. No matter how bad the pingers or what the situation is, they have a chance to go in here and do something. And I think the bizarre thing about clubs is there's so many Portuguese players that they've sort of built themselves a play style of how to play against European teams, and they are without doubt. I mean, Famalicao were without doubt the best players on the game because they then flew into England. Some of them just bringing PCs without the case in the luggage, just graphics cards and motherboards, walking around with them in the shops, and absolutely battered every other team. They had a very bad group stage, but then when they got to the knockout stage, they battered every other team at the event, and they proved why they were the champions of both the VPG and the PFL. These guys are nuts at the game. And as I say, there's about 6-7 players. The core of Famalicao's team are all champions, double champions. They've won twice in a row, I think they came second the first year. But they've got LAN experience, they're not going to get worried in these situations. They're not going to be nervous. They've done this for years and years and years. This is just another day in the office for them, and even if they lose, it's like, shrug the shoulders, we go again next week. But as Murray was saying, there's a bit of extra pressure because they haven't done well in the VPG either. They've been knocked out of the VPG, so a team that won everything last year are struggling. So maybe for confidence sake, they need this game. They need this win.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, psychologically going into it, that will play on the mind, especially as well going 1-0 down to Digital in that first game, thinking, oh, here we go again. But you have to also then praise the character because they came back near instantly, really, and obviously played their game plan to perfection in terms of playing very defensive, minimalising the chances going into their net, and now obviously going into the home leg, you'd fancy that they'll just do what they do best, which is score goals and win games. So
absolutely.
Past the first test of character, now got to set another test to go, and no reason why they can't go all the way.
Absolutely. No, I agree. I think, we've got an interesting situation here. No one can really guess what's going to happen. That is up for the players to decide, and I'm imagining in that team talk right now, it's all motivational talk from both sides, saying, come on, we're going to do this. The Portuguese have impressed for a long time, so if I had to sway anyway, I'd have to go with Famalicao, just based off I've seen this situation so many times before, and I've seen how it's ended up so many times before. When they lose or draw away, they don't lose at home. That is their stronghold. Their home form is unreal, unmatched, and as I say, it took like years watching, because at the very start when I started doing clubs, I didn't understand the big difference between the ping advantage. But then when you actually realise that it's honestly night and day. It's night and day. And the best thing about Famalicao is they now know how to play with bad ping as well, which is ridiculous. You would never think a team would. But then again, though, I suppose in a way it's like other esports titles. You've got Saudi Arabia usually play on Europe, and they always have higher ping. South America play on North America servers or or West America servers, usually North, I'm pretty sure. They have high ping, so they naturally, as players, play with a different play style. They usually play a lot quicker. They pre-fire everything, so all of that sort of stuff with ping is eventually adjusted to. And if Famalicao are the outliers, where I think Portugal's pretty much the worst place for ping, they are basically, they've done it for that long, but they've got used to it. They know how to play now on ping and off ping.
Yeah, and then when you say it like that, it's a scary thought, to be fair, because you're playing that well.
Oh, right, yeah.
Disadvantages as well.
Yep.
It's like, oh god, okay. How are you going to be when everything's going your way?
Yep.
It is a crazy thought.
Yep. No, absolutely. And that is, honestly, it is absolutely ridiculous. How much of a difference it makes. But then Famalicao just make it look like there's none at all. Like, you could watch Famalicao home and away, yeah, especially in this game, and you'd say, yeah, there's no ping advantage. It's just a team playing like a team. But I'm hoping that they back what I'm saying up and they perform unreal in this next match, because if they're crap, then it's going to look like I'm talking bubbles. So let's just hope, for my sake, they stick up to the words and the words of wisdom I'm giving them.
Well, I was going to say, you might be commentary cursing them here, but even off the first leg, obviously going into it, everyone knew that Digital would have had the better ping and all that jazz.
Yeah.
Famalicao has still actually played really well going forwards.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think in terms of the stats, they would have had a lot more shots, albeit
Yep.
only the one on target, but they still had more effort, more attacking positions to go in. Instead, they decided to go for safety.
Yeah.
Because for them, it was no, we don't necessarily need to win. Obviously, it'd be nice, but it's not about that. It's about just make sure we're still in it when we go at home.
Yep.
They are in that position. So again, the game plan has gone perfectly to plan for them.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And the best part about it is, I mean, I've just seen there, it's a little inside information. Digital Sports were ready to go straight after that match. Famalicao have taken a few minutes to themselves. Digital Sports, it's good to see that. It means the conference. They just want to get into it. Let's go. You know, we don't want to lose anything here. We want to get in. They probably have their team talk. It looks like we're going straight in. That's unusual. We usually have to wait 25 minutes now in the Pro Clubs players whilst they all go to the toilet and have a cigarette or something. Thankfully today, they're all with us, and we are actually starting straight away with the second leg. And actually, bizarrely enough, oh, never mind. There was a problem.
Oh.
I was going to say, bizarrely enough, the ping seems all right. But no, never mind.
I'm happy you didn't finish. I'm happy you didn't finish.
Yeah. It got me right on time. Got me right on time.
They knew you were going to say that. So it's like, oh, no.
Yeah.
Servers aren't fully here yet. Come on.
It's madness how often that happens.
Still going.
Yeah.
Still going.
Yeah. They haven't paid their electric bill this month. They've had to. No, it's madness how often that happens though. Like it's every single time we do a stream or we do a match. It's like there's been cases where we've had to cancel streams because it's just not worked after 4 tries. And it's like, oh my god, we've spent 40 minutes just watching someone try and load into a game. Mental. But I mean, it's usually one player doesn't load in. That's usually the reason they do this. One player doesn't load in. They have to all back out. And that's the problem with when you've got an esports with 22 people. Even trying to... I don't understand how you can get 22 people in a lobby playing at the same time. Like, how... And the thing is as well, they're not just playing one game, right? They're usually playing from 8 p.m. or 7 p.m. till 10 p.m. every single night, Monday to Sunday. And you look at them thinking, how on earth can you manage that? And the pay's not good. The pay's not like salary. They're working jobs as well, and a lot of them have wife and kids, and it's like they're just sat there for this amount of time. That's how the commitment levels are for these players. It's unreal.
I mean, yeah, I have to tip my hat off because I don't think I could play this
Game for that long just on Pro Clubs.
Yeah. But here we are.
But I mean, look, the practice has paid off.
And there we go. The ping as well. There we go. That's the real ping that we were looking for. 37. So they've gone from, I think it was 12 before, to 30, 37, 38. So it's quite a noticeable difference. Famalicao were probably the opposite of that. Now, it completely depends on how good the rest of the team's internet is. So we'll see how that goes. Oh, okay. The host originally, so why it was 15 ping, the host wasn't Portuguese for the last match. So now they've given it to a Portuguese host to have the ping advantage. So I think that's why they left the server. Because obviously there's no point of not having a ping advantage if you've got all your players playing at disadvantage. You give it to the one player who's English or German. It's like, yeah. But here we go. The teams are now on the flipped side of ping. Let's see how they will fare.
Famalicao immediately on the front foot, looking to try and have a shot towards goal, but not fully able to get the space in the end. And it was good defending from Digital, but not cleared away just yet. Now it's on the right-hand side of the penalty area. Alves can't find the space and instead will recycle. Potentially looking for a cross into the box, but just some dancing feet. Trying to work the space. Do get to the byline early, cross in, but cleared away. And I mean, I think this will probably be the pattern that we're going to be used to seeing for the full 90, in that it's going to be Digital back against the wall, trying to look for those moments to try and hit him on the counter. But now D2G, good interception, but again, can he get that out ball? No, he can't in the end, and it will end up coming back yet again from Famalicao, now on the edge of the box, trying to work in the box, and in the end, it's cleared away. Route 1 stuff.
Yeah. And that's, as I say, I mean, it's a common thing to see in pro clubs. Usually, I think there's a restriction now in pro clubs, but they used to just put the tallest players possible on the pitch and just play for head downs. So a lot of the leagues now have restrictions on the height just based off of the how overpowered it was. Now, the meta's changed a bit. I mean, first time through balls are always going to be very, very dangerous as well as they are in the 1v1 scene. But it's good to see. I mean, this might be the first time you see a formation shift if Digital Sports score to a 110. that is what I very much expect to see from Digital Sports. They've already started off quite defensive. I'm expecting that to continue. They'll be hitting the counters. They'll be trying to make it happen. But they are going to try and basically flat pack that back four and shove a lot more plays there. But that's opened up. Oh, as I said, a flat back four. They've opened up like a cracked back four with a big split down the middle. And they've let two players from Famalicao through, one of them with the ball, who slotted past the goalkeeper. Now Digital Sports can't sit back. They've got to respond here.
Yeah, it was Alves with the goal, and it's Hadji intercepting the pass. We'll be talking more about the goal later, but it was just a ball down the middle, and no one was closing down the space. In the end, it was just a simple pass straight through the heart of that Digital defence, and as you said, there was two players there, so it was take your pick who's going to have the glory, and in the end it was Alves and Famalicao trying to go forward, double their lead, and in the end Digital, very similar to in the first leg, where Famalicao had to calm themselves down and go on the offensive immediately after conceding. The difference is they scored. Now it's Digital's turn to do the opposite, where it's their turn to now go.
Nope.
But it's a good interception in the midfield, and first yellow card of the two games.
Bit harsh. Very much harsh.
It was a good interception, but I think it was a bit harsh for initial. It's the first foul as well, so but
referees on EA never changed. Oh, a long ball. Header going to be won by Fair. Maxwell, deep the G. Are they going to get a chance? I don't think so.
Oh, might do though.
What?
Shot towards goal. Zizou blocked in there by Obi. Oh, Zizou with the shot, and they'd worked it so well. Just kept moving the ball, kept moving it into space. The keepers, in the end, not needed because it was just a good block. There was 2-3 white shirts right in front of Zizou. That the shot was certainly going at least on target. Whether it was going in, obviously, elementary now. Long ball forward from Famalicao, but it's only going to come back. Bit of a risky pass there. Nearly a hospital pass, but Digital do recover. And this is important for them. Just keep the ball moving, shifting it from left to right, right to left. See if there's any cracks in the armour. Not this time, though, as Portuguese side will look to come forward, and I think we might be seeing another yellow card shortly, but the referee does play advantage. Johnny trying to play it, but who's there? Yet again, it is Pippo with a good interception. Now Zizou leading the charge into D the G. Good 1-2 there. But again, it's just, can you find the space? Zizou trying to turn, trying to find a space, but in the end, Famalicao do well just to block every bit of space, every run toward goal, and now they're leading the counter-attack. Alves, who got the opening goal, passes it in, but it's a good block. And in the end,
yellow card.
Blobby, I think it was, knocking out for a goal kick, and there is another yellow card.
I think it must have been.
That one was
advantage.
Yeah, the earlier incident where he's stopping the counter, and there he is, right on cue. That one
punished.
I mean, that one wasn't. It wasn't harsh at all. Complete wipeout there.
Absolutely not. And you can understand why, but again, I believe actually if you get sent off in the PFL, you have to miss the next match. So someone got sent off in the last game of the group stages and missed the quarterfinals match for whatever reason, and there was no need for them to get themselves sent off as well. They just two-footed someone for the sake of it. So that's an interesting rule that the PFL had, is you do get knocked out. But I will say this: the problem Digital Sports right now is they are basically leaving their back three to go 3-on-3 with Famalicao's front. That is not going to work for so long.
It's risky. Yeah, it is. It is risky, to say the least. Because look, I know you want to go for the goal, especially before half time. It'd be a great moment, but you leave yourself so exposed as well. Now you mentioned that 3-on-3, but Pippo, brilliant, but not fully away. Hadji crossover to the box, but Jeff clears. And in the end, for Famalicao, I think it will just be a case of just keep the ball, try and get this chance right before the half-time whistle. Still not fully away. Ney has it on the right-hand side of the penalty area, trying to roulette their way to goal, but they've somehow won a corner at the end of that, and we've played the 1 minute of added time. So this will be it for the first half.
A second goal would be
perfect time to... Oh, Well, there you go. Took it right out of the mouth, but it is cleared away. Not fully away, though. The referee will let play continue. Headed away by Jeff, and that is it for the first half. And, well, it's advantage for Famalicao, and Digital have got it all to do. Having gone 1-0 up in the two legs, they now find themselves 2-1 down.
On the away saver as well. They've got to battle back through the ping.
It's a big mountain to come up. It really is. But I think with them sending a lot of players forward, obviously, yes, it is risky. But you just need that moment, whether it's a bit of skill, whether it's a mistake, a lapse in concentration, and all of a sudden you're in it and momentum will be on your side. So it's a risky game they're playing. And look, at least how I'm seeing it, I'd rather lose 2-3-0 and you've had a go rather than just sit back. So you have to credit Digital for actually having a go.
Oh, absolutely.
Obviously, it might bite them in the backside, but we'll wait and find out. A long ball from kick-off for Famalicao. It should be keepers, and it is in the end.
Yeah, they need to come out here with a bang. They need to start off. Jeff looking to start that run then. He plays the ball, switches sides, goes to Zambi. Maybe he has more of a vision. D the G trying to move around with the ball, but again, it will be quite stiff on that old ping. Maxville to Zambi. Zambi taking a few strides forward. Realises he's got a bit of pocket space there. Finds Zizou in the centre, but currently stuck to their own half. Maxville to Gold, trying to break through. Alves, though, will intercept in a good place. D the G making a critical touch to stop that one from going on a counter-attack for Famalicao. Dreschke finds D the G to Zizou. Zizou goes through the middle to Pacino. Shot comes in, and there we go!
Oh, what a goal!
The dynamite came
Brilliant.
through. Exactly what you needed to see for Digital Sports in the second half, tying the game back up across two legs. And now they have a real opportunity here because they're going to be able to sit back again. They don't need to push for a goal, and they can let Famalicao come to them. They can start playing counter-attacking play. So they've already got rid of the risk factor now. Perfect play there from Digital Sports.
Absolutely brilliant. What a strike. I mean, you mentioned earlier, we don't see many long shots. We saw one there, and it was right on the money. Famalicao looking to try and take advantage of the good ping, and in the end, nothing, as Zizou just recovers the ball, play to Zambi, he'll switch it over to the left-hand side, and now you do feel like the tide could be turning in favour of Digital. Now Zizou has it, plays it into... In the end, it's not fully away, though. Blobby is there just to intercept the pass, and... Well, it's really on a knife edge now. But Pippo, he is one-on-one with Crimmy. Good roulette there, and another.
Lovely.
Tries to play inside to that near post, but Pippo's there just to make the interception. And, well, now it's just a case of how is your nerve, because it is just on a knife edge. It is so even between these two sides. I think it is just going to come down to either a mistake or, I mean, we saw a bit of magic earlier in this half. We're potentially going to try and see another one.
Yeah, and the important thing to note is this game will go to extra time and penalties. There's plenty of time afterwards if this 90 minutes isn't enough time to find a decider. However, a corner here for Digital Sports gives them an extra spot of pressure. However, we haven't seen many set-piece goals at all in the PFL with the FC26 introduction. It used to be, you know, you'd kick the ball at the tall-headed fella and he'd knock it down. However, that's changed. It tried to do the similar kind of thing there with Jeff to tap it, use Jeff to tap it
Right
back.
idea.
But it didn't fall nicely. But yeah, Famalicao are going to be trying to use every opportunity of space, and they're going to try and use that ping advantage, which means they're going to have to play very, very quick first-time touches to throw off their opponents here in Digital Sports.
Yeah, and for Digital, D the G has it now, trying to lead a counter-attack. Long switch of play over towards the right-hand side, but Blobby's there. Good nod back to the keeper, and I mean, on that corner, it was a good idea to send it into the near post, see if you can try and win the second, third ball, but Famalicao read it like a book, and now Hadji has it right inside of their own half. Long ball down the left-hand side for Blobby. Kept it in, but he wasn't with it, and
Pulled a
it's a
hamstring.
comfortable giveaway of possession there. It's a really good pass over to the left-hand side. Pippo has it in the defence for Digital Sports, just looking for movement ahead of him. He'll just slow the play right down, and I I mean, it will suit Digital at the moment to the point where they can just stand on the ball because, at the end of the day, they don't have the advantage. They might as well go, no, go on, try and press us, give us space to work into. We don't mind passing it around the back.
Oof.
Pippo, long ball over to the left-hand side. They do win the nod down. Now Gold's running down the left-hand side, tries a fake skill move, but instead recovers the ball. And, well, it's frustrating for Famalicao more than anything else because you're just chasing shadows at this point.
Very good.
Instead, they'll just play it at the back. This is really, really good stuff. And the thing is, as well, there's a bit of frustration. It invites mistakes. It's inviting the opposition to, in their panic, to try and win the ball back because that's what you want to do. But there's a little mistake there. D the G, though, picks up the pieces. But in the end, to give away possession, Hadji plays it to the right-hand side.
The press is
and
so
now it's
good.
Famalicao's.
The press from Digital Sports right now, I mean, every time Famalicao get the ball in a wide position, there's 2 or 3 players from Digital Sports ready to press to block off the options. D the G's been perfect at reading the passes from Famalicao players, the amount of turnovers he's won in the middle of the field, and that's just kept the pressure in Digital Sports' side, even though they're the away team here. So Famalicao they've got to book up their ideas. They've got to change something, or they're not going to find a win in this game.
Yeah, it's not necessarily about marking the man, but it's more about marking the space, as that was another. It's D the G yet again. Playing it into Gold down the left-hand side. Try and recover the pass, but in the end it will go out for a throw for Digital Sports. And 10 minutes to go. Here's that point where potentially people are going to be thinking about extra time. It's another half an hour, maybe penalties as well. But you can make yourself a hero here because I think it is next goal wins territory. And Famalicao have the ball over on the right-hand side. Hadji has it. Will he send an early cross in? Instead runs down the byline. Plays an inside pass. Still not fully cleared away by Digital. First clearance, then the second in the end. And Famalicao, for at least the last few minutes, will try and get a winner now. Alves falls over the ball. And then in the end, it's Ferran with the goal. And, well, we said it was last goal wins territory. And Famalicao do get it. 5 minutes from the end. And Digital, well, they've got it all to do now. They've had to come back once in this game. They've only got 5 minutes, or even less than that now, to try and do it again. But the Portuguese side at the moment are heading through to the next round.
Yeah, they'll be devastated. They will be devastated, Digital Sports. That defending was not up to standard whatsoever, especially when they've controlled the game so well after basically equalising the game. They've got a bit of time here, maybe for one last attack, but Famalicao are now in the driving seat, and they'll make them pay for the time wasting before. They've got one more chance here. They've got possession. They need to see +1. If +1 doesn't come, and I don't think it will, then the referee's going to blow, and they're stuck in the midfield. The Famalicao plays the +1 comes, but they intercept it. The goalkeeper's up. They need to win the ball back ASAP. Famalicao are going to game manage this one. No problem. Kick it away. Digital Sports lost the game in the last 5 minutes to some poor defending, a scrawny goal through the goalkeeper's legs. They will be devastated, but Famalicao will be over the moon and relieved that one is over. They've got their grudge match win. They've won it. They've got it back under control, and they are going to be your first semi-finalists confirmed for this amazing competition. They in the end, I'd say, deserved it. They had the fair share of chances. They won on their home server. They scored 2 goals. Digital Sports, they will be absolutely kicking themselves because, again, I think it's a thing. They had a lot of possession after that goal. They were getting a bit confident and maybe a little bit too confident. They pushed up a little bit further, lost the ball. A counter-attack is where it all began. And then Famalicao for maybe 5 to 10 minutes just kept pinging crosses in, cross after cross. They weren't properly clearing the ball. It was flying everywhere. And Famalicao were able to use that and smother them with pressure. And unfortunately, in the end, the defenders couldn't get there. The goalkeeper was unfortunately P-rolled under his legs, and they'll be devastated by that, I think, because they were so unlucky. But again, they've only got themselves to blame.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, passing around the back, you're thinking Digital are comfortable, potentially looking to try and think about extra time already. There's still quite a fair bit of the match to play, so obviously in hindsight it probably wasn't the best move, but you have to credit Famalicao for how they took the game to Digital, because as you said, it was just cross after cross. It was relentless pressure from the home side, and in the end, look, it was a mistake. It was a scramble in the 6-yard box, but it doesn't really matter how you get the goal. It just matters that you get it in the end, and it's a massive win for them as they they advance to the next
Yep.
round.
Yeah. And just before we close off for this evening, these are obviously the quarterfinalists. I need to update this screen and move it back to where it was. But basically what's happened is, by the looks of it, Misa Esports have also gone through there. They are a second team in the semi-finals. They're a very, very strong team as well. I think they went 18-0 or 16 and with one draw in the group stage. They had a very, very strong group stage. Famalicao obviously did very, very well in their group stage. Now it's going to be between PCS and For the Win. PCS have won their first game. It looks like 1-0. I think that's French versus Portugal. And then Class or English and PFC Elite's a bit of a mix of everyone, to be honest. So it's going to be interesting to see where the progression is with those games. But for next week, you know, we've confirmed Famalicao in one of the semi-finals. On the bottom, they're going to play the winner of PCS and For the Win. And then on the top, we've got Misa Class versus PFC Elite. If I'm being honest, I expect the games to be next week. I expect Misa versus PFC Elite in the semis, and I expect Famalicao. And I wouldn't know who to call between PCS and For the Win. That's a close game. I'm not even going to try and to call that one and make myself look silly. So I'll just say, you know, either of those teams will make it. But two very, very good matches for sure next week.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, I'm still new to the esports scene, so I don't want
I don't want to guess either because I don't know enough to tell you the truth. But look, regardless, it is going to be a really good set of matchups because you get to the latter stages of the competition. Doesn't matter who it is; they're all going to be good teams. You've all had to play the best to get to that position, so it's just going to be a really good set of games, no matter what.
Yeah, absolutely. As I say, that is the heart of the competition. You know, we get the stronger games towards the end, I'd say. You know, we're not going to see 7 goals, but we're going to see close, tight-knit games where every single mistake is punished, and that is exactly what we want to see. We want to see that higher level of gameplay. So no matter who goes through, you know, they will be great games regardless. And I mean, Murray's going to check, but I believe it's either going to be both semis in the final next week or one semi in the final next week, or both semis next week and a final the week after, depending on what the players want to do in terms of spreading it out across the month. So that'll be confirmed in due course. Again, as always, keep your eyes on the Twitter page, or if you're not in the Discord already, join the Discord for the PFL Esports to keep yourselves up to date with all the competitions, all the news, when things are going to be happening, the game schedules, because you know there's other streams going on as well for the individual players when we're off stream. So if you want to go and see those, then there's opportunity to go and do that as well. But no, it's been a fantastic, fantastic evening of gameplay, really. And, you know, the main thing for me is we've managed to get to the end of that game. I have not lost my voice as much today because I've been joined by yourself. Maui, as well, has helped me out massively today. He's passed on all the information early, which is always good. Chased the players up, got it going. So big thank you to Maui, the PFL, for putting this on. We know we wouldn't be there.
Absolutely.
And yeah, it's been a great competition so far. Only 1 or 2 streams left to go with this competition, and then I think Moe said there's something I believe it's the 14th of March. It's the Euros competition on that weekend, starting on Saturdays. Where I believe we're going to get another caster on the wheel as well. So there's going to be 3 of us back on the wheel like the old times, and hopefully with that comes more rests for me. Because as I say, it's not nice to do it on your own. You do lose your voice, so it's good to rest it up a bit. And be able to bounce off someone as well. It's absolutely fantastic. So thank you very much, Dan, for joining me this evening. It's been a massive help, and you absolutely smashed it for your first gig. It was wonderful to have somebody next to me to take off the heat.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to ask for some feedback. I'm not gonna lie, but yes, no, I mean I've absolutely loved it. Thank you, Murray, again for inviting me and having me join the team, and hopefully it's the start of a new journey.
Absolutely, and I think you'll probably be with me next week, if I'm not mistaken. Next Wednesday, Bo will probably
yes.
send that out. So next Wednesday as well, we'll be back, and that'll be the next PFL stream. Will be next Wednesday. So keep your eyes on the website if you are looking at the scores and you want to know who's going to be progressing through. Keep your eyes on that. There's 2 games still going ahead. But all from us tonight. We thank you all very, very much for watching. And have a fantastic evening and the rest of your week, and we'll catch you again in the middle of next week where we will have the semi-finals and potentially the finals as well. But stay tuned on Twitter and you'll be able to hear what's going on. But a massive thank you to everyone. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you all in the next one. See you later, everybody.
See ya.